All right, so we got Magician in Diamond and YerAnd in Platinum. This will be sort of the same situation. Let's bring up some picks and bans here.
Yeah, the same situation, but the stakes are even higher. This is for a spot in Diamond, and Diamond, like Platinum, perfect in promotion matches. 3-0. No one has ever jumped into Platinum or Diamond via promotion match. People in Diamond, they stay in Diamond. They hang on when
Well,
they have
most
this
people
opportunity.
do anyway.
They hang on when they're given that opportunity at the end. Yeah, when they win the hazard match, they always win the promotion match too. This would be SCL history right here.
Yep.
YerAnd
And
is
Magician's
a
been
monster, though.
Magician's been very good at hanging on to those. All right, so let me get I got these picks and bans up. Magician was the first to ban, and they banned Modern. So no more of that nonsense coming up.
we will not end on a dramatic Modern game again.
Okay, the next ban from YerAnd, Tan.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's standard. Every single match this season, YerAnd ban Tan.
All right. Well, nice consistency at least. All right, the first pick out of Magician, we got Pub.
Yep, that's been Magician's pick of choice this season.
It's always interesting to see doubled 3 of 5 maps.
Yeah, that is it generally is quite uncommon. The next pick, Veranda out of YerAnd. Followed by Magician selecting Ballroom. Next up, then YerAnd, after banning Tan, picks Aquarium, so somebody has a preference for what sort of...
it's a very specific preference, yes. There is a subtle difference, and YerAnd has shown a lot of skill on Aquarium as Spy.
All right, the final pick from Magician, Terrace.
All right.
That is not a venue we see very often.
No, it isn't, especially at high levels.
Yes.
But this is atypical. Yep. This is for a spot in Diamond.
Yep. All right. The final pick from YerAnd, Gallery.
Okay. Usually we start on Gallery. This time we might be ending on it.
Yeah, it's a lot later than I would expect. But anyway, I think I'm just about good to go here. Get rid of these picks and bans. Adjust this game screen a little bit.
And a reminder, Magician is the higher seed, only needs 8 to hang on in Diamond and stay for a 5th season potentially next year, which is ridiculous. Even though they've struggled in Diamond, hanging on that long is very impressive. But YerAnd, trying to supplant them, needs to get to 9.
Yep, all right, and I am ready to go. Go ahead and take over when you're ready, Tobochi. I got some red dress, Magician as red dress on Pub.
And let's get this thing underway with Magician on the Spy, YerAnd on the Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Swap and Purloin both off. That was the only choice there, really. Purloin or Fingerprint. They left Fingerprint on. Magician does not like being the first person to complete on 3-5s. They like to let someone else complete first, see if the sniper shoots, and if they don't, they'll very often try to finish in the last minute instead.
51% flirt to open the game, alone in conversation with the seduction target, and joined by the double agent shortly after.
It's not a great time, but it's an okay time in just a moment. You could take it, and I think they're probably gonna.
It looks like he's waiting for Salmon to get in conversation.
Because of the statue visit, yep.
Yeah, because he's got the statue visit.
And that doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. Otherwise, it would be an ideal time.
Yeah, just decides to go for it after seeing that Salmon's not cooperating.
And the end of red.
Contact comes off. Twin looked like he might have split.
Yep, it looked exactly like a split. 3 low lights is not great there, and you wanted to keep that early statue visit in. And wow, YerAnd decides, oh, no, thinks better of it. That split actually more suspicious rather than less. The Seduce is done in 2. Can you just go to statues right now?
Just go to statue. I think you just go to statue and win the game right now.
This is not what Magician likes to do, though. He does not like to be the first to complete, and if he doesn't go in the next 5 seconds, you can't imagine he's going to.
Well, he's on the move now. Looks like he might be heading that way, but no, it's just a window visit.
I think just doesn't want to make a beeline for statues, maybe. Because here's the thing. If you're determined not to finish, there's nothing to do. You're literally just waiting for the AI to do things. And if you're waiting for the AI to do things, then you just want to be innocuous, which is what's going on right here. Look at this.
Yeah,
Look at this.
Magician is just trying very, very hard to be as inconspicuous as physically possible. Hanging out in conversation by himself, gets joined by a random partygoer, gets abandoned by a random partygoer.
Magician has literally nothing to do with the BB done and the seduce happening in 2. They're just waiting for someone else to get shot, and if they don't, they finish later.
Absolutely.
So they're just going to lose heat if they can, and then if and when they have to rush to statues late, if they do have to finish, hopefully they're thinking that'll buy them a little goodwill.
Under a minute and 15 now. Magician really staying as far away from the other partygoers as possible, being as antisocial as he can get away with.
Twin is at statues too, and YerAnd doesn't seem that interested. Very interesting.
Picks up a briefcase with a difficult fingerprint and hits it. That could be a new and inconspicuous way to finish this match.
Yep, but if there is another print already out there, you need the ambassador to go do something. There it is.
No, but the game plan works out in the end. Green Dress does something that YerAnd doesn't like. The shot comes off, and Magician picks up game number 1.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I can actually check the replay now. We don't have to discuss
No,
it.
that
Go
actually
on.
is a print. The ambassador had a drink.
Yeah, there was a print on the drink. Okay, yeah.
That
you
was
can tell because
fingerprint.
the briefcase was there, so that usually
That was fingerprint chicken. That
Yeah.
was there's a drink at bar, and if I go before Green Dress, I die probably. I think is all that's going on.
Okay, and Owen Green Dress also had a statue visit.
Yep, of course. Yep, right before it, in fact.
Yep. Oh, anyway.
So, that is one game in the books as YerAnd steps into the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That's really big for Magician. This is his pick. That's the kind of thing he was hoping to do, and he played the standard Magician 3-5 game, which is I'm not going to finish until I think I have to, and eventually an AI obliges and gets themselves shot.
YerAnd looks like he's going to open the game off in the standard way with a quick flirt.
Now, Magician as Sniper on 3-5s is susceptible to basically any mission complete, but particularly any weird pathing, and watches fingerprints very closely, in my experience. So if AIs act weird, if they do weird bouncing, if they could be completing, there's a really good chance Magician's just going to shoot rather than try to overthink it and guess as to whether or not the spy could be trying to finish first.
Green test flirt from a slight distance yields us 47%. Still plenty of time to play with.
Ooh, that stealth highlight from Magician. Did you see that with the swoop of the camera?
I did. I don't know what it was for, but I saw it.
I think we're getting maybe real BBs in. Maybe talking around the same time.
I don't think we've had a contact yet, have we?
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, so I think the timing of the talks is really interesting there. Seems to have decided that the spy came from that conversation in particular.
Yeah, I think so. Decides not to go for the double agent as of yet. Picking up a fingerprint off the briefcase.
And this is risky. This is risky. This is the kind of thing Magician is going to watch for, very likely.
Back in conversation with the seduction target, but this time the double agent as well. Lots of activity and conversations. Unfortunately, the suspected double agent is at the bar. Flirt comes off for 81%.
And that briefcase is looming large on the other side of the venue.
There's the contact. Probably gonna hang out for the timer flirt. Safety off, a little bit of a flicker on the seduction target, but then just takes the shot on YerAnd. That is what I call a flirt pairing.
Yeah, I guess so. Is that what that actually was? It wasn't I'm suspicious of Twin. It's I'm suspicious Twin is being flirted with, I think, is all it was. And the one fingerprint is all it took. What did I say? With the fingerprints and Magician on these 3-5s, he is all over it. If anything, a little jumpy.
Yeah. I think so. Strong start from Magician. It's 2-0. as he steps back into the spy side of things here on pub at the Irene Adler in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Late season Magician is scary. Don't ever forget it.
Opening things up with 34% on the flirt.
I
Very
definitely
early
will
on.
not forget it.
You will not forget it. I'll tell you what, though. I don't know if he's had a challenge like YerAnd in a while. YerAnd could absolutely right this ship. Pub is strange. Pub is unusual. It can turn on little things like this. In fact, YerAnd only played Pub twice this season. So if they can survive this, even if they're down 3-1, and especially if they can force a tie here, I actually think they're still in a great position.
YerAnd has been an absolute monster from the moment he started playing SCL.
Yeah,
But
I
it
would
looks-
not. I'm not worried about the 2-0 deficit for him.
Magician is, especially late season Magician, is probably his biggest challenge yet. Picking up a green test now for 85% on the flirt. Lots of time being taken here, with lots of time to spare.
Yep, playing it cool again. This is just like the last game. This is how he likes to play these, but I'd love to see him mix it up just a little bit.
Well, hello, Ambassador. Let's not right-click right now.
Yeah, you don't want to do this. It's not good. I feel like I'm saying that all night. I'm just telling spies not to bug all night.
And they're listening to you. Back into conversation at a nice big old distance for this last flirt. You've got the close white and the close green, so you can do whatever you want for the last one.
Yeah, through time and space, I'm staying their hand on that mouse button.
Under a minute and 40. Section target unfortunately bailed on that flirt, so we weren't able to grab that. Magician now being a little bit innocuous.
And we would have taken a bit of a bug path, but that bug would have been totally covered by that doorway too, if he'd taken it.
Examining this window from both sides.
I think they went, oh, there's a spot. Oh, no, wait, it's on the other side.
Yeah. And then steps into statues mid-game. This is going to be the first mission completion.
Yeah,
This
but
is
we're
very
low on time.
unusual.
But this is about when Magician decides whether or not he's going to try to complete. Is about a minute on the 3-5s usually. So this is actually looking like a pretty good BB, though. The question is YerAnd really going to forget that they were just in statues? Are they really going to hold that shot?
Well, here comes the contact.
Whoa!
Oh, the double agent steps away. No contact after all.
And at 35 seconds left, it is totally plausible this double agent will not come back and do a conversation at some point.
Yeah, I think Magician is no longer going to finish missions.
What could come right back in instead? It could go either way. They come right back right as Magician leaves.
Goes for the bug, doesn't take, and it would have been clean.
They would have, if they'd gotten it, it would have been fine. There it is, the
That one
conversation.
takes. But YerAnd's not gonna miss two, and gets himself on the board.
Wow. One of the few people to ever beat Kaylee in a hardtail version of Pub was Magician a long time ago. They BB'd, I think, into a wrong arm bug as Salmon on Pub. So Magician's bugs every now and then will catch you really off guard against even the best snipers. That bug could have taken and could have won them the game, or they could have stayed in that conversation because the double agent was coming back in. But it looks like at that point he was already eyeing up the bug and just made the decision to do it.
Yeah, everything kind of fell apart at the end of that last game, but
Yep, you wait an extra second, you get the BB. Okay, fine, you've already made up your mind to bug. The bug didn't take, now what? Well, the logic for the bug being a good idea doesn't apply once you're already in conversation and you missed the first one.
either way, YerAnd is on the board and on the spy side of Pub in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
A 2-2 split for YerAnd on Pub would be perfectly fine. They'd be perfectly fine with that. I think Magician really needs this.
I don't think that's even in range for any flirt.
I can't really lock eyes from across the room. It doesn't work that way.
YerAnd opening with briefcase, grabs a fingerprint and a highlight early on.
And just like the previous game, where Magician seemed to be on YerAnd for that early print.
Bit of a
Does it
late
again.
stop. Not the start YerAnd is looking for. Man, oh man, Magician was worried about that bug, but nothing happened.
I mean, in these tiny conversations, people just cram in, and if the ambassador's in there, 2 people on either side of them, or even people slightly across from them, can bug potentially. So you have to guard that. Or you would if bug were on.
Wait, the bug is off?
Bit of a delay there. Always check your mission setups, kids. Fingerprint
Who
and
turns off
Perlina.
bug?
Well, you can turn it off against a really good sniper for sure. But the question is, did Magician remember? Because he was zoomed in on that.
Alright, well, YerAnd now picking up a drink.
So this does maximize frame opportunities, at least. Obviously, the fingerprints, AIs don't complete them very often, but they can occasionally, and sometimes you get one, and that's enough because they're worried they missed a second. Fair enough. But the purloin, that's for the more direct kind of frame, where you're okay with the coin flip for your life.
So, did what looked like one of those delegate bales without taking a drink, but didn't actually grab a delegate from it. So that's a little bit confusing. Double Agent now in conversation with us, and we're going to pick that up. Contact coming off just now.
YerAnd must think this is good based on those full conversations, but we know the SDA is at statues, so it's a hard low light, and only 2 people could have a real banana bread. It's Queen, and it's the spot.
Banana bread.
Everything is sad, but switches conversations and immediately hits a green fake. That could be pretty good.
I think it adds buns to the list of people who could have a reel, but it's still, you're playing the odds, hoping the SDA is one of them, but they're not. You've just gotten unlucky. Very few people have a real banana bread right now. That is brutal.
Absolutely. I really like that move for the fake contact. Gets a fingerprint off of the drink here.
But we have no seduce done, so we're not actually home free at all, and you got to get rid of this drink before you go to inspect too.
Turns off bug, doesn't take any flirts. What is happening to this game?
YerAnd is clearly trying to play a particularly specific type of game here, and they're just going to sip this drink, I guess, go to statues, but you're probably going to have overtime if you don't hurry up. This takes a little while. People forget how long this takes.
13. 10 seconds now. It is going to be overtime. It's going to be a substantial one at that. There's no way YerAnd survives this, right? It's 5 seconds of overtime.
Magician's laser is nearby.
Whoa,
no, it's Boots!
not the right shot! Goes for Boots instead, and somehow YerAnd comes away even.
Somehow, it's Boots going for the late print. The second BB put her in the group of just 3 people who could have a reel, and as the overtime starts, she picks up the briefcase to save the game.
Holy good God.
They needed that, the fake BB, and they needed the briefcase to happen exactly when it did.
Oh my God, it looked like that fake BB was going to be for naught. It was such a cool idea, and it winds up saving the game in the most roundabout way possible.
I mean, it wasn't going to until Boots did exactly the thing she needed to do at exactly the time she needed to do it. That is ridiculous.
Sometimes the party gives you a gift, and now we're even, 2-2. Stepping into Veranda with Magician on the spy as Smallman in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That is brutal for Magician. Goes up 2-0, but then ends up splitting their doubled venue pick. And I just don't think you're going to get a lot of margin from YerAnd. I think you needed a lead there.
Smallman highlight because Smallman. And
Fair.
30% on the flirt.
No objection. Sustained.
Yep. Seems good.
Why not?
Stepping into red bookcase.
Magician has played 8 Veranda games this season. Has lost every single one of them. Spy and Sniper.
Oh my.
I'm a little surprised they didn't ban it.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Not doing anything with the red book, which was very wise because it was very exposed. Looks like going for the second flirt here, but can't find a way to muscle into that conversation, so he just keeps on walking until he finds a neutral conversation to stop in.
The way you snipe Magician on Veranda when they're spying is to wait until that last minute, because they're very likely to rush multiple missions in that last minute. That's what almost always happens. That was my game plan going into my matchup with them, at least, and it ended up holding.
Fingerprint at the front statue. Gonna grab a pair of inspects while we're at it.
Yeah, and inspect is almost always going to be completed.
Grabs a fingerprint as well. Stepping back into conversation with the seduction target, picks up a green this time, up to 81%.
YerAnd only shot civilians this season at a 10% rate, which is low for anyone, and it's significantly below the platinum average even. And that is going to serve them well here, because as I mentioned, the key here is to be patient and wait for a rush late, and I think YerAnd is absolutely the sniper to do that.
Lots of progress, though, so far.
Yep, that's standard, but it's going to have to all come together at some
Magician
point.
did not quite arrive at green bookcase quick enough to get a difficult print off of this. Too much smudging going on from Walt Disney. But does pull out a green book and go to finish this flirt. The green book going back where it came, and Magician is very far behind the time curve, as you were saying. Minute and 15 seconds left to play, and still just that one completion. Two inspects and a fingerprint, sure, but still just one completion.
Yeah, but it's going to have to be a lot of activity late. And YerAnd, disciplined, patient, uniquely qualified to wait this out. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Contact goes off. Print on the statue has been smudged.
Yep, and the smudge is a big deal, because at this point the only way you finish is when you find a mission site with several missions at it, potentially, like a fingerprintable statue.
Well, is able to pick one off on the green bookcase here. So that's fingerprints done, but it's not going to be enough as the shot comes off. And YerAnd, after going down by 2, strikes back with 3 of his own.
We didn't even get to the late inspect swap that was almost certainly coming right afterwards. YerAnd just cool, confident, counts the fingerprints, takes the shot.
Especially on Smallman.
Yeah, especially on Smallman. A little harder to get that center match shot, but you got it.
Yeah, definitely good position for YerAnd now as he steps into the spy side of things on Veranda in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, and YerAnd, people joke about how good YerAnd is at Veranda, but they don't actually play it very much. Well, they were really, really determined to get that bug, and it happened, and at one point, I don't think Magician at any point was really zoomed in on it, though. They were zoomed out the whole time, and so none of that activity was actually seen. It's just like a normal time of chaos bouncing, and I think the bug is just free.
Yeah, I think so. We've picked up the bug, we've picked up a pair of inspects, we've gotten the highlight, but I think it's just for statues.
It is, and I think if you can do your missions pretty clean, take the minimum number of chances, stretch it out, do things like fingerprints after they've been sitting for a while, that will usually work against Magician's Veranda Sniper.
Contact comes off as well. Double agent bails. Oh god, the pathing!
Not noticed, though, and there's a green purloin in the interim, and Magician was doing housekeeping on the lowlights on the far right side. I think this might be clean. A lowlight takes the list, but Magician isn't even looking at it yet. The wheel's head is blocking it.
If you don't see that path, you don't see that purloin. YerAnd in a very dominant position right now.
The only saving grace is that 2 lowlights took the list. You're not going to be expecting it at this point. This is too close. There's 3 minutes left.
Way. This is the worst best game.
There's no reason to even be looking, not even looking at the statue pickup. This is just going to happen. These 10 seconds are just going to tick right off. I don't know if will the statue be on screen? Nope.
Swap is done. And so is the game as YerAnd picks up another. It's 4-2.
There were 3 hardtails done and 3 minutes on the clock. 4 in a row.
Not what you expect to see as a sniper.
No, not at all. I don't blame them for missing the bug. I'm a little surprised, didn't react a little more to the purloin, but it was just ridiculous momentum, and the swap caps it off. Who would swap that soon? The spy, the winner.
Very impressive stuff coming out of YerAnd so far. Now Magician needs to start fighting back into this. Starting things on the spy side of Veranda in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The unheralded part of that is that the BB was, quote, bad. There were a lot of lowlights available on the right side. Because there were a lot of lowlights available on the right side, Magician hastened to pick them all up like a bunch of chains that had been dropped on the floor, like, hurry up, get them all. But that was a trade. Trading all those lowlights for a green purloin and a bit of chaos in the sniper's mind, the wake of which they did the other hard tell. They gave up so many lowlights, but that's actually why they won.
You gotta keep in mind, Magician does have draw odds because he's defending from Diamond.
That's significant, and that's one of the reasons they're still in a position to potentially win this. But you've got 2 more games on Veranda, and let me remind you that Magician is now 0 for 10 on Veranda. Not as spy, on either roll.
That is not a stat you want to have against someone like YerAnd. Pulls out a red book and goes to flirt with it, hits a white test for 34%.
And Magician is always going to make that steady progress across multiple missions on a venue like Veranda. It's the completion that always ends up getting them, at least so far.
It looks like he might try to hang out here for a timer flirt. Nope, decides not to. Steps into conversation with the double agent to pick up a quick contact. Immediately, people start walking. Contact comes off. Just the one low light, though, it looks like.
Very significant. Pretty good. Magician in a better position now than they were a moment ago, at least. Other twin leaves. Or rather, we leave the other twin. They both have books. I like that.
I like it, too. Hopefully the other twins came from red, because... Nope, never mind. Magician is... hopefully the other ones came from green, because that's where this book is going to go back to.
The high-lit twin gets neutral lit after the microfilm, right as the microfilm happened. That seems significant.
Transfer done, contact done, 34% on the flirt, and 2 minutes to play.
And this is a much better start for Magician than the last one because we have a hardtail done too, so we don't have to be quite as aggressive in the late game. But we haven't had any good bug opportunities yet.
Yeah, having the hardtail done is big as we step in for the second flirt. 68% is where we're at after 2 close white tests. Still over a minute and a half as we step for the briefcase and immediately die for some reason.
Well, probably suspicious of the microfilm after all. As I mentioned, YerAnd, very patient, and it's really showing here. They're just calmly, impassively, robotically shooting for simple mission progress simply because, well, I'm pretty sure I saw that before, and when they do the next thing, I'm going to shoot.
Yeah. YerAnd has been a monster since he joined the SCL and has not slowed down. Now on the spy side, looking to take a 6-2 lead in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
From 0-2 to 5-2, and YerAnd is a spy game away from handing Magician his 12th straight loss on Veranda this season.
And his 6th straight loss this match.
And that's a hard deficit to come back from, even when you have that tie break available to you.
But first, he still has to come away with a spy win here as Wheels on Veranda, and it's a relatively slow start. Finally now steps into conversation with the seduction target. but it's just a white test for 34%.
It's interesting, YerAnd's season has been built on the sniper, 75% win rate, really good, but the spy's only been 30%. Platinum snipers have mostly figured them out, or at least held them in check, but as we can see, this is working out really well against Magician so far, albeit with a little help from Boots.
This is true. YerAnd picks up a red book and steps back in for the second flirt. This one comes up green to bring us to 85%. Double Agent drops in to say hi as well. We take the banana split and transfer at the windows while being low-lit.
And it's the same thing. It's a quote-unquote bad banana bread that works in their favor. There were several highlights knocked out by that, including 2 statue visitors right then. I think 4 total, but one of them is the spy, and it feels like YerAnd was specifically going for that. So they're probably going to behave as if they're low-lit, which means they're probably going to win this game.
It is so rare for snipers at this level to be caught out by banana splits like that.
Yeah, but again, it was in the rush to get all those lowlights. There's a bug happening off screen.
Oh,
We're low-lit.
completely clean. So much cover in the way. Even if that was a highlight, it wouldn't have been noticed.
Yeah, YerAnd's just going to roll to victory here. Already 3 missions done, half the microfilm. We're low-lit, and we probably know we're low-lit.
Absolutely.
So the
Pulling out a
question
green
is,
book, reading it in conversation, quote unquote. This is very much low light play.
yep, absolutely. It's the kind of thing you probably do get away with if you're low-lit. The question is it going to be a mission win or is it going to be a civ shot? I'll bet mission win.
I think so. YerAnd's moving pretty quickly here.
But how do you finish? Because it's interesting. Things like swap or purloin, that's the kind of thing that can get you shot as a low light. Inspect is a little safer.
Swap's probably the scariest one, but not if you hit a green test.
Well, that helps a little bit, but it's still a bit of a risk, actually. The funny thing is we're not really home free because we were going to have to do something suspicious at the end there that could get us bumped back up. I don't think it's going to matter in this case. Magician really seems to be treating his low lights like they're just completely out of the game, and a highlight's going to take the statue anyway.
Especially because it looked like that was what he thought was a hard low light. There's the swap coming off.
It's on screen
Sees
just barely. He's going to
Takes the shot with 3 seconds left on the mission win countdown, and YerAnd is now 6 in a row.
And I lose my bet. It's a civ shot, just barely, because the highlight took it. So I'm ashamed. But
Womp
6 in
womp.
a row, as you say, and just 3 wins away from Diamond. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Diamond is a scary
Are you
place.
taking notes, Track?
Like, why even bother? This is just scary. This is just scary. I don't want to think about it, okay?
Band Veranda is the first note.
I'll have to consider it. It's definitely going in the notes for now, at least.
Either way, Magician finds himself with a mountain to climb. Starting things off on the spy side of Aquarium in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Mountain to climb, you say. Let me remind you that YerAnd joined SCL in Season 3 in Bronze, advanced to Silver in Season 4, jumped Gold entirely because of dropouts, and now has a chance to make Diamond in just their 3rd season. That is a mountain.
You're not wrong. YerAnd is no stranger to climbing mountains.
For people of my particular generation, that's the aggro crag of SCL.
Might be too much for even late season Magician to deal with as he steps in. No, the double agent bails on him, so he's not able to get the contact done. 33% on the flirt, sure, but you'd like that banana bread to have come off.
You're right, late season Magician is scary. How else do you survive in Diamond for 4 straight seasons? You do it if you got a few tricks up your sleeves, and sometimes he's done it with smoke and mirrors, as is befitting his username, but he's always brought it when it counted. This just might be a little too much to ask here, down 4 games.
Section target drops in to say hi. We pick up a white test for 67%.
And I will remind you that before tonight, no one had won a platinum or diamond
Direct
promotion
purloin.
match.
And a fingerprintable direct purloin. Two minutes and 20 left to play. I haven't seen a whole lot of reaction from YerAnd, and it's hard to tell if that's a good sign or a bad one for Magician.
It's a bad one. YerAnd is, as I mentioned, has just been really comfortable,
Fake
calculating,
contact.
does not
And the end
take
of
the
red.
shot before they need to, for the most part. They take the shot when they're sure, and they wait it out, and they watch the spy. They get onto them early, but they don't shoot just because.
That was a lot of big lowlights. Not a lot of lowlights, but very high profile lowlights, including a
significant.
Smallman at a statue.
And we're going to get a free bug behind the shark if we take it. No. We're going to be credited with that bug. We're going to be credited with that bug, and it was not taken.
That is very surprising. I guess just wasn't paying enough attention to where the shark
I don't
was.
think that's how you do that briefcase. I don't think you walk nearly that far.
I don't think so either, but has the fingerprint done? That's only 2 missions. Hasn't finished the flirt yet, but you'd think if the bug was credited, the flirt would be 2. It's a different shot!
Oh my god.
We were projecting, Track.
Apparently. Jeez. Seek did have some bug opportunities. I'm checking back through the replay now, certainly. Looked like they were talking during the BB. That's all it takes sometimes. I think just was not expecting that purloin, and you take desperate shots. I am stunned to see YerAnd take this shot.
Well, yeah, I guess just was not nearly as confident as we thought about where that purloin came from and misread it.
I think maybe at that point is specifically banking on the real. When you do that, it can look really smart, but when you don't, when you do it wrong, when you do it wrong, when they do the fake and you're assuming real, it throws your entire game narrative off, is the problem. So that when someone you are not crediting with a real goes to purloin, for example, regardless of what order you do it in, you don't notice it, and then you're forced to take a desperate shot because you have no idea who could have done it.
Either way, that might be Magician's path back into this match. It's still a ways to go, but he can bring it back within 2 with this game on the sniper side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
YerAnd was barreling towards Diamond, but we've hit a little speed bump here, and there's a little danger now of it slipping away.
And you don't want to hit speed bumps too fast. YerAnd, speaking of fast, immediately picks up a transfer on the green book behind the shark to open the game. So that's green microfilm in pocket, and having a moment with orange dress there on the way into conversation with the seduction target.
If the shark's over you, you basically have to do it. They're going to expect you to do it. This is something we mentioned on the cast in his match with Noob, and then when we saw him next time, he did it differently as a result, seemed to take the advice to heart, and seems to be following it here too. At that point, if you're going to be credited with it, just go ahead and do it.
First flirt comes off for 51%. Eyeing up the double agent, it looks like. No, it's going to be blue bookcase instead.
And I believe the shark is going to be giving us cover here in just a moment if we wait a couple of read cycles. So we're just going to time it to the shark. We're just going to say, yep, I'm going to do all my stuff behind the shark. I know that's suspicious, potentially. No, going to walk away.
Very interesting stuff is going to pick up a... Oh my god, the moves!
YerAnd...
Speaking of behind the shark!
This is exactly what happened against Noob. YerAnd did this, but then returned the book or picked the book up while the shark was going by anyway. So they got all the downside of what they were doing, but none of the upside. This is the way you actually do it. Maybe one is covered by the shark, but if you're going to do this, you don't want to be behind the shark when you take it out or when you return it. That's what you want to avoid. So you actually don't want to return it now either. You need the shark to get out of the way so you're not credited with that microfilm.
Contact comes off. 84% on the flirt. Green microfilm is in the blue book, and the shark has gone by.
Yep,
Now is
it's
the
safe
moment.
Now it's safe now. You want to be seen not microfilming behind the shark now. That's the whole point of doing this move when you've done it. And I would not be behind here unless you want to bug. You're behind here with the ambassador. This is downside. Unless you do this.
Oh, it's not a downside if we just bug it straight up, but that's a little bit of shark cover as we step back in the blue bookcase here. Probably not enough to get a microfilm on, but it's enough for a mission win countdown, and it does not look like Magician is reacting to it, just taking highlights. No shot is forthcoming, and YerAnd with a beautiful display of Spy on Aquarium goes up 6-3.
I think 7-3 actually, yeah. And YerAnd, by the way,
right.
2 hardtails done completely behind the shark. And I don't know if the bug was planned or not, but at the very least, if it wasn't, that's actually more impressive because it means YerAnd is realizing, well, crap, the shark's coming over me, the ambassador's next to me, there's no reason not to bug. I'm going to be credited anyway. Here's what I got to do. And they do it.
Yeah. You can, in fact, see a little bit of the footwork when he steps out to get the cheeky microfilm, but...
Oh, yeah, the saddle shoes are visible, and they're pretty visible, too, because those are very flamboyant shoes.
But if you're not looking right at it, you miss it. That's Spy Party in a nutshell, basically.
Dancing into Diamond, 2 games away.
You can have them, honestly.
Yeah, you're like, wait a second. Either one of these guys is going to be with me in Platinum now? Oh, God. It's scary everywhere, Kletos. It's just scary everywhere.
And as scary as Magician is, it looks like YerAnd is definitely on the path to making this happen as he steps into the sniper side of Terrace in a commanding position in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Magician opens himself up, finding himself in the wrong conversation.
Banana bread.
So just contacts, straight up, lets off a single low light, but very few possible reels. 1 of 3.
Purloin is turned off, Fingerprint is turned on. This is consistent with what we saw earlier from Magician. Once the Softel's in there, wants AIs to complete, and it worked for them earlier. They need it to work for them now.
I think Magician's gonna have to take a fake sometime, so more people are in conversation with the double agent. But now Magician is in conversation with the seduction target and picked up a green from a slight distance for 47%.
Not a big issue. Terrace is much less about efficient flirts or even execution. It's much more about decisions.
There's the cooldown expired as section target steps away to statues. Double agent drops in to say hi. We can wait until the section target rejoins the social circles and then go for another contact. It'll let off 1 more low light if we do it now, but we might have to. Magician says no need.
Normally, you wouldn't want your ST to leave like that, but when they go to statues for you, you'll absolutely take it. That's why you leave inspects on. You hope for a game like this where several people go to statues. The timing here on the mission setup is actually working out pretty darn well.
Magician wisely taking a slight distance from the seduction target once more. Hits another green test for 96%. Still 1:30 to play. 1 flirt and 1 mission to go.
And Taft has completed inspects.
The reverse drive-by bug unfortunately doesn't take. It was a beautiful attempt.
Lolit for a bug? Nope. Oh boy. So the seduction target did a possible bug path and got low lit.
Wow.
I guess that was YerAnd saying, if you didn't bug in that scenario, you can't be the spy. And that was a statue visitor knocked out. Taft is still in, though. Remains the most likely civ to get shot.
There's the flirt done. YerAnd being very careful about this bug, takes it anyways. As soon as Walt steps in to give some cover,
No laser movement.
doesn't look like YerAnd's seen it. And Magician, with the most unlikely of bugs, makes it happen.
Absolutely needed this. So much cover there at the end, I think. Yep. Let's see.
Look at the timing on this. It
look
was
at the timing.
completely exposed, and then Walt walks in front, and Magician pounces.
Running interference at the perfect time. That was absolutely beautiful. But as much as I want to give credit to Magician, YerAnd has to rotate better there. I realize you only have a second to do it, but you're vulnerable to that conversation filling up. Sniper angle matters a huge, huge deal. On Terrace in particular, with that higher viewing angle. Nobody wants to give up that higher viewing angle to guard the bug, but sometimes you have to. The party gave Magician a little opening, and he seized it to keep his diamond dreams alive.
It's still a long way to go, but that's the way you want to start, and now you're on the sniper side of Terrace. YerAnd on the spy. It's 7-4 in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And let's see if YerAnd realizes that Magician, if they're looking at those previous replays on Pub, another 3-5, plays similarly in some ways, got noticed really early on for early briefcase fingerprints. If you're YerAnd and you're watching those, I think you need to eschew that mission, or at least eschew going forward early now.
Stepping into bar relatively early on. Grabbing a delegate. Give ourselves some options moving forward.
Busy bar is a good opportunity here. One of the things Magician has struggled with a little bit this year as Sniper is when pileups like that happen, when there's a lot of fingerprints floating around, a lot of statue visitors, a lot of bar visitors. A little hard to sift through it in the moment. So YerAnd, if they purloin here, even if they're kind of obvious, it might really work.
2 flirt, into contact, into delegate.
Boom, boom, boom. Going to try to force the shot really early. That does let off a lot of lowlights, but General is not one of them. And this could be a 50-50 for Magician.
Big pile up at bar. We don't know if this is going to take.
Yep, it's a big delay because of that, but he didn't wait very long to do it. I think he might just get it under the wire. Both people are in the zoom in.
There it is. There's the take. It's a shot on someone else entirely. And YerAnd buys himself 4 match points to get into Diamond.
4 diamond points. Great position to be in. And yeah, because of that early bar rush, I think Magician just didn't have a sense of where the player had come from, just had to shoot one of them. Just lost track of who was where, what conversation they came from.
Season 3, YerAnd was in bronze. Season 4, silver. Season 5, platinum. And now, with one more game, it's looking like Season 6 might be diamond. He could put it away here and now from the sniper side of Gallery. Magician fighting to stay alive in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Only 10 people have ever played in Diamond. YerAnd is 1 game away from becoming the 11th.
Starting things off at green bookcase with a lot of cover. Doesn't do anything with it.
It's not only history just to make it into Diamond. I mentioned earlier tonight that no one had ever won a Platinum promotion match or a Diamond promotion match. We made history earlier tonight. Could it happen for the first 2 times ever, back to back?
Steps into the back conversation, 51% on the flirt. Pretty good briefcase redirect into paintings here.
Yeah, I like it. That's the kind of thing that's worth doing against YerAnd too. YerAnd notices, well, pretty much everything. So that kind of stuff is not for naught.
You can't contact from here, Magician.
You can't, but you should be able to. Why not? And you got to watch out for the timeout here because it's hard to complete on gallery, and you've got a very slow character too. And Magician, as I mentioned, has had to rush late in some of these games. And YerAnd often has shot before then anyway, though, before it even has a chance to happen. So you got to watch for the timeout here.
Goes back into conversation for the next flirt, but the seduction target bails on him. Goes for a briefcase, so you don't even know where he's headed. Two minutes to play. Still, all we have is that one flirt. It's not looking good for Magician as far as progress goes.
It looks like one of the 3-5s. It looks like he wants a Civ to get shot. This actually happened in Week 10 last season when he was playing KCM. He finally got a point off someone there. He got to the 6th win, and he had a chance for the win outright. He was Kane on Modern, and he kind of just idled the whole game. He basically just didn't complete missions. I'm worried that the same thing is happening here.
5 lowlights, 7 highlights. Now that he's going into statues, Magician is now one of them. Gets one inspect from it and steps away.
Those highlights certainly help, but YerAnd is also not the kind of sniper where they're just going to feel desperate late in the game and shoot a highlight because they feel overwhelmed. That's just not how YerAnd snipes. So the highlights, they're significant, but if you don't actually react to them too much, if you don't overreact to them, it doesn't necessarily hurt you.
Contact from the front, a bunch more lowlights. 8 possible partygoers left. 5 of whom are highlight.
You didn't get rid of too many of the people you cared most about still, but you're going to have to finish. YerAnd, I think, has just shown too much discipline as sniper to not finish missions here.
Has to step all the way back into the front conversation to get this next flirt. Has to get a green test here and does not. It's 85% with 35 seconds on the clock and only 1 mission completion. And the shot comes off! And YerAnd is in Diamond!
The 11th person to ever make it to Diamond. Welcome to Diamond, my friend. You have no idea what you've gotten yourself into, but based on the way you've played this season, all 3 seasons in the SCL, and in this match in particular, I dare say you might find a home there.
That's what they all say when they get in. And then they play Kaylee, and then they play Warning Track,
KCM.
and Bacon, and KCM, and then they go,
Yep.
wait a second. Abolish Diamond, please.
It's bittersweet to say the least,
Yep.
yes. But I do want to briefly say a little something for Magician, who played 4 straight seasons in Diamond, did a hell of a job staying in there, and made the Season 2 finals, too. He has not just been surviving this whole time. It's a hell of a run, and I would be very worried if I were the people in Platinum, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hats off.
Yeah, I am a little worried, honestly.
He's going to be a challenge, but you know what to expect from him, at least. You two, you'll get a rematch.
Yeah, we will. All right, anyway, that's our cast. A little bittersweet note for some of us here.
I believe in you, Kletos.
Yep, I mean, we'll see. I can do it. You've
done it before.
Yep, twice before, in fact.
That's what you do, man.
Yeah,
you get sent out to Platinum, and then you're like, I don't belong here.
Yeah.
And you
Yep. All right, anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll have more stuff, I think, throughout the week. We got lots of live matches to cast, and then, of course, the normal stuff. And I assume we got some finals stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah, we've got a few more tournament of position matches. We're going to settle who's in gold, too. We've just locked, with these 2 matches tonight, we have locked Diamond for SCL6 if there's no dropouts, and we have locked Platinum. This week, we are going to lock gold as well with the tournament of position, and then, this weekend, the Diamond Finals.
It's going to be crazy Kaylee versus KCM, and I couldn't be more excited.
What are the odds that Kaylee bans Tan?
We'll see.
I mean, after he just played like 1 billion games on it.
Yep. Only 1,000. Just 1,000, normal number.
Okay, maybe I added a couple of zeros.
Yep. All right, anyway, thank you all for watching. Okay, yep. Obviously. Okay, so Kaylee's saying 0%. We'll see how that goes. All right.
Don't believe. Just do what you're going to do.
Yep.
It's all mind games from here on out, people. This is what Diamond's like. It's a hellhole of psychological warfare. Don't listen to anything. Plug your ears.
Yep. All right. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and thank you, Winning Track and Toboshi, for casting. All right. Goodbye.